just share my 2 points.
Don't listen to me. No,
Yeah.
I suppose, number one, get your plan of action. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Trainer,
Yeah.
listen to him.
Yeah.
Stick to one trainer. Stick to one. Once you've got your fitness routine sorted out, I don't know if you're like me, whether you plan the whole year or whether you just do it in small chunks and then assessing over time. Doesn't matter. But whatever your trainer says, stick to that. Otherwise, you'll get confused when listening too much. That's point number one.
Yeah.
Point number two: break down your year into what you're doing between now and Christmas. That's your health period.
Yeah.
Maybe January till March is performance build up, and then March through to July will be performance build up number 2. And in that second period, you're kind of really putting into practice the nutrition for the event.
Yeah.
So between now and Christmas, it's all about your health.
Yeah.
So focus on the quality of the diet and the quantity of the diet. We can go through that separately.
Yeah.
Look at any imbalances, whether you're lacking in energy, digestive issues, anything like that. Get that sorted out. And then start playing around with certain nutrients that you might want to take in an Ironman, like sports drinks, gels, or taste and preference. So you've done all that before Christmas, so when you start getting into the heavy stuff, you know what you're doing. Tank loads of that, probably about 3 litres to 4 litres a day minimum, and that's outside of training. Drip feed your body small frequent foods throughout the day. Probably for you, somewhere about 6 times a day.
Yeah.
Probably every 2 to 3 hours eating a bit of carbohydrate, a bit of protein, small amount of fat. Think leanness in your diet as opposed to fatness, if you like. So try to have lean foods, lots of colour for antioxidants, lots of vegetables. Try to eat most of your starchy carbohydrates before 2 o'clock. So that's your pastas, your breads. If you have 1 or 2 days where you don't sit, that's no worries. Think 90-10 rule. So if you can get up towards 90% of your time consistent and clean, job done. 10% of the time, enjoy it. You know? Maybe give yourself 1 reward meal a week. You do what you want. A bit of flexibility in your diet. Try not to eat beyond about 9 o'clock. I'd say 8 o'clock for you. Try not to eat late. Try to limit things like coffee, tea, alcohol, chocolate. That doesn't mean you've got to eliminate them. Just try to limit them. I can't see any harm in having a coffee a day if you need it. No. But if you find that you're still tired, it could be the coffee. So in those sort of cases, you might need to take those stimulants right out of your body to adjust. Little things like that. That'll do.
Okay, great.